The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And quite a bitter morning out there, but at least there are no winds. Otherwise, it'd be really, really bad.
Yeah, the winds are weakening. That's the main factor here today. But we're going to be tracking some more snowfall. Not a lot in the Mohawk Valley, but enough to maybe coat some surfaces. Before that, though, I think some of you that were staying up later last night were able to see some of the northern lights. And this time, the solar storm came in and packed a much higher punch here. Now, in full transparency, so we can see when these solar storms move in, but the act of forecasting them is still incredibly difficult. This is even harder than finding a needle in a haystack. You have a ball of basically a giant nuclear reactor 93 million miles away, and you want to have a ball of energy hit this small pinpoint, again, said 93 million miles away. It's very difficult to hit it on the dot, but when it does, you can see some of these vibrant displays. That was taken by our own Bill Cardis here. Look at this shot here, the pillars in Oneonta, as far south there too from Jessica, and then also this one here too from Little Falls. Look at these photos here. It might even look as if they weren't taken in New York State, but nonetheless, that's the views from the Northern Lights last night. As I mentioned, it's a cold morning out there. Wind chills are still in the below zero category in the Mohawk Valley, but again, it is dry out there early this morning. Yorkville Battery Live radar, overall pretty quiet. That heavy snow starting to move its way toward the Thousand Island region here in New York State. But again, for now, we start out quiet. As we head throughout the afternoon, as you can see here, we're going to see clouds increase with some snow chances, and then the arrival of some more colder weather later this week. We'll be diving into that here shortly. Gary?
Eric, thanks. 2 people are injured.
Welcome back. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We begin today with a quiet start. However, we're going to be following the arrival of some light snow showers developing this afternoon. Let's take a look right here at what we'll be expecting today. To start out, partly cloudy this morning, temperature of 8 degrees, wind chill or feels like temperature below zero, so an Arctic feel outside this morning. Yorkville Battery Live radar, we have that heavier snowfall now heading toward the Thousand Island region after passing through Watertown earlier this morning. Here locally, again, there is no snowfall for the early morning hours today and no intense snow like what they're seeing up north and west of us. So today we have some light snow showers. We head toward the weekend, and I want to emphasize especially how much we're missing here. This is making national news, by the way, the potential for ice to fall along this corridor here from the Carolinas down to Texas. We're not going to see any of that. That's going to be falling way to our south, thanks to a massive plume of cold air, which will bring temperatures this weekend down several degrees below zero in the overnight hours, and wind chills minus 20 to minus 30 in the Mohawk Valley. So again, at least when it comes to weather today, it does start out cold. We're warming up with some light snow. We have that snowfall map as well as how the rest of the week shapes up in terms of lake effect and cold fronts. Everything you need to know in that full forecast shortly. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Protesters descended on
New mobile app and put the power of Storm Tracker 2 in the palm of your hand. Watch the latest forecast, hour-by-hour conditions, the latest radar this winter. Be prepared. Download the Storm Tracker 2 mobile app today.
Omni, we got your back.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We are tracking the arrival of light snow today from the west. We look at the radar and satellite. We can see that slow movement of the system here, a weak warm front as well, bringing in some slightly warmer temperatures and a bit of a relief from the intense winds and intensely cold wind chills we've been seeing over the past day. Yorkville Battery Live Radar zooming in here. It's a quiet morning out there today. In fact, even some partial clearing. Heavy lake effect snow staying up to the north and weakening. By the way, if you know anyone that lives in this area, we'd welcome these snowfall reports on the Tug Hill. There are, believe it or not, very little reports from the afternoon and beyond once that band continued to shift its way north. But just look at how intense that snow just slammed the Tug Hill Plateau before eventually shifting its way north. More snow pushing through overnight and eventually starting to fizzle out north of Watertown. Downtown Utica, dry scene out there today, and as I mentioned, we start out dry even with some sunshine. Light snow moves in and pretty much sets up north of the Mohawk Valley in terms of notable accumulations here. But of course, once that system passes, as you can see here, upsloping, producing that snowfall, we've got some colder air on the way, as well as more opportunities for snow showers, as well as lake effect that will really set in stone as we head into Thursday night into Friday. So we time it out here in the Skycast. Again, this morning, this afternoon, it's relatively dry. Light snow mixed in with cloudy skies, additional snowfall accumulation in that blue zone there. Then, as we head into the overnight, early in the morning, 3:30, 4 a.m., a cold front rolls through. This could produce a brief round of accumulation on some surfaces before it dries up, and we have more scattered snow showers mixed in with sunshine here and there throughout the day Thursday. So a mixed bag Thursday. Then that intense lake effect snow really sets up north, and it remains north throughout much of the overnight into much of Friday with a few snow bands here and there. Then that band will sweep south just in time for the evening commute. So we'll fine-tune that forecast here, but a reminder that it could be a bit snowy on your drive home Friday night. In terms of snow today, you can see here it's a largely location-based event here, 3 to 7 inches in the blue zone there. In the Mohawk Valley, 1 to 3 inches are expected. So this is not a intense blockbuster storm. The typical late January snowfall here. But a reminder, again, there's no major changes to that forecast this weekend. Still going to be very cold, I would say intensely cold, with wind chills 20 to 30 below, and just daytime temperatures barely hitting the single digits. So.
The actual temperature 14 below.
Yes, that's not even including wind chill, just the actual temperature. It's enough to cause concern for pipes and whatnot.
Yeah,
so.
and people.
Yes.
Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:23. Still ahead on Sunrise. A new look ahead this morning on Sunrise.
This live look of downtown Utica is brought to you by Utica National Insurance.
Morning once again, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. If you are getting ready for the day ahead, well, Eric, you better dress warm. It is frigid out.
Yeah, another cold morning, but I think this is the time frame today where it starts to warm up a little bit. It won't be nearly as cold in the afternoon today like it was yesterday, but we might even see some snow showers. That's the difference here. The current wind chills this morning, similar to yesterday morning, near or below zero as you head outside today. So I would say whatever you wore yesterday that kept you warm, wear it again today. But of course, if you head throughout the afternoon, those wind chills will be a lot less. Downtown Utica, a live view outside. Still a dry morning out there. We will still see some opportunities for sunshine this morning before light snow, widespread light snow moves in the early afternoon. In the meantime, we take a look at the radar here. Of course, the heavy lake effect snow impacting the Tug Hill area is still shifting its way north. Now heading toward the Thousand Island region of New York State today. So, of course, that lake effect not hitting anywhere in our area this morning, this afternoon, or even this evening. But we have that light snow moving in early this afternoon, high temperatures in the 20s. We have more snow chances and some much colder weather as we approach the end of the week, into the weekend. We'll be looking at the latest data coming in this morning, coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. President Trump will be...
2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli. This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Welcome back to News Channel 2 at sunrise. This morning, pretty quiet out there. We got some cold temperatures, some sunshine moving in once the sunrise takes place. But as we head throughout the afternoon, we are expecting the arrival of some light snow. This will progress throughout the afternoon and evening, producing roughly 1 to 3 inches in the Mohawk Valley. A little bit more as you head a little bit north in the foothills of the Adirondacks. But following that, we have even more snow chances to wrap up the week. Some of that might include a lot more than just areas off of Lake Ontario. Yes, that lake effect might not just stay to the north. We'll dive into that here shortly. And following that, an Arctic blast begins to arrive this weekend. So that's your headlines for weather, at least for the next few days. Everything you need to know, at least briefly, as you head out the door today. But I do want to show you guys this amazing photo for our photo of the day today. And if you thought that yesterday's Northern Lights were spectacular, 2 days ago, this one last night, we had some incredible views of the Northern Lights here. This was taken in Deerfield. And yes, taken in Deerfield. Look at that shot of the pillars and all the vibrant colors of the Northern Lights there in the distance sent in by Terry. If you have any Northern Lights photos you took last night, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Your photo of the day every morning brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. Gary?
I guess I should have stayed up, huh?
I tried. I couldn't see anything where I was, but there were some really nice photos.
Eric, thanks. The New York State Canal Corporation announced yesterday.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out quiet and cold with some light snow on the horizon. Let's take a look right now at the radar and satellite where we can see an area of low pressure, a Clipper system, moving its way eastbound into central New York later on in the day today. You can see that leading edge producing some snow showers as we head throughout the afternoon. The radar right now, though, showing dry weather here across central New York. And of course, what's left of that intense lake effect is now shifting north of Watertown and heading toward the border of Canada and New York State. Downtown Utica, quiet, cold, the theme here early today. But as we head throughout the morning and afternoon, we're going to see some snow chances heading roughly 12 to 3 before a lot of that snow will linger north and exit the Mohawk Valley with just mainly cloudy skies. So the pattern for the next few days favoring a couple of things. I'll just show you on this map here. So the lake effect shifts north. We have this Clipper system rolling through. This is the warm side of it. The cold front is right here. That'll sweep its way through, producing a round of snow early Thursday morning. And then a few rounds of snow here and there before lake effect snow returns off of Lake Ontario heading into Thursday night into Friday. But you see that cold air mass driving its way south. This is a fresh supply of extremely Arctic air moving in toward the weekend. But nonetheless, this week, you can see here that light snow really setting up mainly north of the Mohawk Valley. That's where much of that snow will be accumulating. Then in the overnight hours, we're going to see the arrival of that cold front. Moderate to heavy snow for the span of maybe a half hour or so. Enough to likely coat some of the roadways and make you have to use maybe a snow brush briefly as you head out early in the morning Thursday. Then we are going to see a few scattered snow showers throughout the day, not lasting all day long, but still hit or miss. Then lake effect really kicks in again, mainly north in the Tug Hill area, remaining north overnight, much of Friday, a few scattered snow showers. Once that front rolls through, that snow band will sweep south, impacting the evening commute around 6 p.m. So that's the time frame of snow, at least for the next few days. In terms of accumulating snow today, this is what we were talking about. This is not anything major. This is a typical January snow event here. 1 to 3 inches in the Mohawk Valley, 3 to 7 inches in the dark blue zone here, and then trace to an inch in areas farther south. So not a whole lot of high impacts today, but just plan accordingly in case you encounter some snow-covered roadways, as that's a typical scenario with these types of clipper systems, especially with some very cold roads. 7-day forecast. Regardless, it's no major changes to the forecast this weekend. It's still incredibly cold. Wind chills below zero, in fact, minus 20 or minus 30. So as, of course, the days get closer, we'll be talking a bit more about, precautions to take and whatnot with that cold moving in.
Yeah, just that word minus is enough for me.
Yes, very cold.
Eric, thanks. The National Baseball Hall
News with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And quite the light show last night, huh?
Yeah, a vibrant show of the aurora, including here in New York State, in fact, heading farther south too in some spots. Nonetheless, what a show, Gary. Let's take a look at some of these photos here. This was taken by our own Bill Cardis right here outside our front door on Smith Hill and Deerfield. Look at that wall of the vibrant pillars of the Northern Lights. A few more photos to share with you guys. Look at this shot here. Of course, sometimes when you get some stronger light shows, you see a bit less of the green and more of the reds. The Northern Lights in Oneonta, so it's even farther south than here in the Mohawk Valley from Jessica. And then a shot here in Little Falls. Look at that display. And again, when you have some strong showings here, when you start to see those pillars, that's you really get to see the vibrant displays of the aurora. So amazing right here. And a reminder of just how difficult these things are to forecast. We usually know about them, the arrival of these solar storms, maybe a few hours in advance. We can tell when the sun is in an active period, but when the storm directly hits us, that's a different story. A lot of times they're busts more than hits, but last night definitely a hit. Wind chills in the single digits this morning. Still incredibly cold out there, but it is dry. A live look at downtown Utica. Should have no issues getting to where you need to go this morning. Roadways pretty much almost entirely clear. As you look out on the radar scans, though, we do have some of that intense lake effect shifting north of Watertown toward the Thousand Island region. But again, that stays outside of our area. As we head throughout the day today, we are looking at the arrival of a clipper system. This will bring widespread light snow in the early afternoon before mainly focusing north of the Mohawk Valley and the foothills, the Adirondacks, as we head toward the evening hours. So we'll be tracking that, plus, of course, the latest snow chances throughout the rest of the week in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. 2 people are injured.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back. Time now is 6:13 on this Wednesday morning, and as we look ahead to the day ahead, we have quiet weather initially, cold weather before light snow develops, and we're also dodging something very impactful later this week. We'll show you here that shortly. 9 degrees officially at Griffiths in Rome. Feels like temperature at 1 single degree this morning, so it will be feeling still frigid to start your day today. Intense lake effect snow north of Watertown heading toward the Thousand Island area. However, that's not the case here locally. All that snow stays outside of our area for much of the early part of today. And again, that light snow chance this afternoon. So making headlines this week, national news and whatnot, some intense potential for some ice, some snow, wintry weather regardless in the southeast. Watch what happens here. Look at this pink for freezing rain or sleet tracking across the country. This will be missing us. However, the effect of that would be we're going to be seeing some much colder temperatures this weekend. So we're missing the ice storm. We do have some cold weather on the way later this week. In the meantime, today, you can see here temperatures in the 20s this afternoon with some light snow arriving. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Protesters descended on the nation's capital.
And local company. It's Wheelock Disposal. The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. We start out cold and quiet, but some light snow will be arriving on our doorstep as we head toward the early afternoon. Let's take a look at radar and satellite here, because as you look out to the west, we can see the arrival of that Clipper system, bringing at least light snow to the Great Lakes area before it continues to move its way eastward into central New York. In the meantime, though, right now it is still pretty quiet, with that heavy lake effect shifting north of Watertown early this morning. Live at downtown Utica, we have some partial clearing in the skies today. Could be seeing a nice sunrise out there this morning as well. Before, again, clouds will increase and the light snow begins to move in the early afternoon before mainly setting up in the foothills of the Adirondacks. So today, we are seeing the end of that lake effect, the arrival of this light snow. In the process, this is the first, at least the initial part of this Clipper system. There's that warm front here. There's that cold front that moves through just behind it, that trailing one. That'll arrive in the overnight hours. I'm thinking maybe 3 to 4, 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. So incredibly early. It's enough to coat some roadways and, of course, coat your car with some fresh snowfall before you head out to work tomorrow morning. But nonetheless, there are more snow chances throughout the rest of the week as energy gets shifted through the jet stream here, and of course some more lake effect from that cold air supply to our north. So our skycast today, you can see that light snow working its way in. By 6 p.m., still some lingering snow showers to the north that'll fizzle out. As I mentioned, early tomorrow morning, that round of snow rolls through 3 to 5 a.m. and then we quiet down a little bit throughout the early morning Thursday, even some sunshine chances, but we do have some more scattered snow showers as we move throughout the day Thursday before lake effect sets up north Thursday night and remains pretty persistent as we head throughout the day Friday before eventually sweeping its way south Friday evening around 6 p.m. In the meantime, before that, though, Friday could see a few scattered snow showers as well. So the next few days, could be seeing a few rounds here and there of snow. In the meantime, today, not a whole lot accumulating in the Mohawk Valley. The foothills, the Adirondacks, watch out for some slick spots as snow will accumulate as high as 7 inches in some locations by 7 a.m. tomorrow, with, of course, more snow chances on the way as we head toward Thursday and Friday. No major changes to our forecast this weekend. Still incredibly cold, I would say downright bitter cold, with some wind chills in the negative double digits for both overnights. And just overall very cold being the reasoning here. So in the next couple of days, we'll start focusing more on, precautionary measures when it comes to cold like that.
Let's hope it's the coldest weekend of the year. We don't have anything worse.
Yes.
Eric, thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us once again. And thank you for joining us for this half hour. If you like the cold, well, you're definitely going to like today. Eric, it is downright brutal out there, but it's a nice day to actually go for a walk if you dress warm, not too much wind.
Yeah, that's right. The winds are weakening. Yes, it's very cold this morning, so I guess wear something similar to what you wore yesterday. But yes, if you head throughout the day, it's warming up a little bit. Let's take a look at what's going on outside right now. We're at a single degree in Rome, 2 in Johnstown, -2 in Hamilton early today with those wind chills. And again, the winds are weakening throughout the morning. However, we will be starting out with quiet weather, turning to eventually some light snow over the next few hours, starting around noontime and continuing for the early afternoon. We have some partial clearing out there. We could be treated to a pretty nice sunrise this morning, by the way, so maybe on your morning commute to work you might be treated to that. But it's also a dry morning commute out there early today. Yorkville Battery Live radar shows 0 rain or snow conditions happening locally. At least some significant lake effects still taking place north of Watertown toward Clayton, eventually up toward the Thousand Islands area here in New York State. But either way, the quiet weather this morning, as I mentioned, will switch over to some light snow And some warmer temperatures in the 20s. Now, as we head throughout the rest of the week, we have some more snow chances and we have some more colder weather, much colder weather to track. We'll be talking about that snow, the latest details on that snowfall here coming up shortly. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. President Trump will be in
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Wednesday morning. The three main topics we'll be diving into today. First off, again, a pretty cold start this morning. Going to walk out the door and it's going to remind you of yesterday. But it won't last that long. We do warm up a little bit this afternoon, but light snow returns. It won't be as dry as yesterday. And then following that, we have more snow chances later this week, as well as, of course, as we mentioned yesterday, that Arctic blast that'll be arriving as we approach the weekend. So that's all what we're talking about here coming up in a few minutes. At least for now, though, let's share a photo of the day today. And this one takes us back into the night sky. Some of you might have seen the northern lights a few nights ago. And then last night, we had an even more powerful setup here to produce such a vibrant display of some pillars of the aurora there in the distance. This was taken in Deerfield by Terry. What a shot right there. And if you have any northern lights photos you'd like to share with us, WKTV.com/weather/pics. Go right there and you could submit your own or view the dozens of others that were submitted last night. So again, a big shout out to all you submitting your photos. Your photos every morning brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A dangerous mix of heavy snow and bitter cold can hit much of the country. NBC's Aaron McLaughlin has the latest.
Extreme weather spelling extreme misery for millions.
I'm convinced this weather is not meant for human consumption.
Temperatures 15 to 20 degrees below average from the Midwest to the Northeast. Even a cold warning as far south as Florida.
Oh, you guys.
All of it creating whiteout conditions this week, leading to one of the largest pileups in Michigan state history. School buses deployed to rescue stranded drivers.
When you've got 100 cars out there, it's pretty insane.
Experts warn just 10 minutes in these bitter cold temps can lead to frostbite.
Our emergency departments are really busy, and so the cold only adds to that strain.
Milwaukee's chief health policy advisor says the number of patients have been on the rise for weeks because of the flu. This cold is now making things worse.
A person who came in with an asthma exacerbation. We saw somebody who was shoveling snow and got chest pain. We saw somebody who reached into a snowblower to try to jam out or get out that jammed snow.
In Pittsburgh, at the city's water treatment plant, ice in the river blocked the water intake. Emergency officials raced to clear the blockage. And over in Chicago,
just a heads up, we are evacuating.
Overnight air traffic control was temporarily evacuated after a water pipe burst in the Tower building.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Wednesday morning. Happy hump day, everybody. We are starting out quiet, cold. I would say more on the frigid side. Wind chills near zero, but the winds will weaken throughout the morning. Temperatures will climb, but we're also going to be seeing the arrival of some snow showers, light snow. We take a look at the radar and satellite here. We can see the arrival approaching from the west right now. Give it a few hours. It'll reach central New York in the late morning and early afternoon. In the meantime, here locally, it is dry to start your day. Heavy lake effect snow continuing north and weakening as it shifts through the Thousand Island area in New York State before eventually fizzling out toward Canada. Downtown Utica, I mentioned, it could be a pretty nice sunrise this morning. Sure enough, look at that band of cloud, that cloud layer there out in the distance. And of course, that prime viewing of the morning twilight there, creating a very vibrant sunrise out in the distance. So very spectacular, but again, cold start to your day today. We're going to be seeing that light snow arriving this afternoon between 12 and 3, the best shot for the snow here in the Mohawk Valley. But again, much of that snowfall will eventually start to accumulate and a lot more totals as you head up north. So the bigger picture shows a Clipper system moving its way eastward. This is the warm side of the front here. We have a cold front trailing it. That'll move through overnight, producing around us some heavier snowfall and more snow chances heading throughout Thursday and Friday before that colder air really begins to work in as we approach the weekend. So on our Skycast here today, you can see that light snow working in this afternoon. By 6 p.m., still lingering snow showers in the foothills of the Adirondacks. Then that snow will fizzle out overnight. Early tomorrow morning between 3 and 5 a.m., there's that cold front. So it might miss a lot of your morning commute times, unless, of course, you head out early like Gary and I do in the mornings. But either way, once that band passes, it's going to quiet down a little bit with a few scattered snow showers throughout Thursday afternoon, switching over to a persistent lake effect snow band north, remaining relatively north before eventually a few scattered snow showers return again Friday afternoon, and then that lake band will sweep south, impacting our evening commute Friday. So stay tuned for updates on that, because this could cause some potential travel impacts for the evening commute Friday. So when it comes to snowfall today, not a whole lot. This is a typical late January type snow event here. 1 to 3 inches in the valley, 3 to 7 inches of some slick spots here in the dark blue zone. So if you live in this area here today, just watch out for some snow-covered roadways, especially in the evening and early overnight. 7-day forecast, no major changes so far. Some bitter cold temperatures this weekend, highs in the single digits, remaining pretty cold too heading toward next week. So bitter cold this weekend, cold stretch still lingering on.
Yeah, but before you know it, that 6 and 8 will be together.
Yes, before you know it, a few months, well, hopefully in a few months.
Seems like a long ways away. The National Base joining us now, and Eric, it's a bit warmer today, right?
We got a fraction of a temperature warmer right now, yes, but it is a little bit more balmy out today. How much more balmy? Well, we go up maybe a few more degrees. It is 8 degrees out right now, so, well, at least 8 with the wind chill. Temperature's obviously a little bit warmer here, but nonetheless, it's not as dry as yesterday in the Mohawk Valley. You see Rome, Syracuse reporting snow showers, and this is coming in from at least a widespread Clipper system we were mentioning this morning. You might be able to see some snow falling. Yeah, you might, if you look at the outline, for example, the Doubletree there, you might see some flurries falling. It's not a lot right now, but it's still some light snow. You can see it here on the Yorkville Battery Live radar, and we do have some more snow on the way today. We mentioned this morning we were not expecting a lot of snow from this, 1 to 3 inches in the Mohawk Valley, 3 to 7 in this zone right here, heading up in the foothills of the Adirondacks. I'll of course show that map here shortly, as well as what follows that as we head throughout the next few days. Because again, this early afternoon, that light snow works in, sets up mainly north of the Thruway, and then we're going to see some warmer temperatures tonight. Believe it or not, our highs for the day will actually take place after sunset as that warm front works in. But a trailing cold front approaches. That'll produce a round of some heavier snow in the very early morning hours tomorrow, potentially for some of you earlier than your morning commute. We'll time that out, plus how cold it gets this weekend, and when it comes to any additional lake effect snow chances, even in the Mohawk Valley, coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A traffic alert to tell you about this news.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Still a cold start. A pretty cold afternoon with those wind chills still hovering in the single digits. And on top of that, it's no longer as quiet. We have some light snow working its way into the Mohawk Valley. Again, key here is light snow. We're not expecting anything major today, but as we head into the second half of the afternoon, that snow is really going to start to produce some notable accumulations north in the foothills of the Adirondacks and foothills of the Tug Hill Plateau. So we'll, of course, show that map here in a second. In the meantime, temperatures as you mentioned, will be climbing as we head into the overnight. A warm front rolls through. Temperatures going into the upper 20s. Winds, at least for now, a little breezy, but not as windy as yesterday. It's the backside of a cold front that arrives tomorrow that'll produce some windier conditions. And the temperature trend the next few days, you can see here, Thursday, our high is 32, and that takes place in the very early morning hours. We cool back down again into the teens Friday, and then the bone-chilling cold arrives Saturday and Sunday, where we do have alert days in effect. Wind chills 20 to 40 below zero Saturday morning. So this is a very cold setup here. And again, we know it's winter time. We get this cold here in New York State every year or so, or every other year. It doesn't happen every year. But even though this is not out of the realm of possibilities, you want to make sure you take extra precautions when the wind chills are this cold out, because it gets pretty dangerous with these wind chills. And of course, that frigid weather is expected throughout much of the weekend, with a notable system arriving along the coast that's making national headlines heading into Sunday and Monday. That'll likely hit the 95 corridor in the New York City area. But again, it's still early for the exact path. For now, though, let's focus on our area, where you can see here, there's that massive cold front. It rolls through early morning tomorrow, 3 to 5 a.m. So if you're up early, you might encounter it. If not, you might miss it. Regardless, you might encounter some snow-covered roads and even might have to brush off your car in the morning hours. Either way, that cold air continues to supply us with that Arctic wind chill heading into the weekend. So today you can see that light snow continuing, accumulating north. There's that cold front. It rolls through, quieting down. A few scattered snow showers Thursday afternoon. Heavy lake effect starts to form again in the Tug Hill Plateau. That'll eventually wobble south as we see a few scattered snow showers Friday afternoon, producing maybe some lake effect impacts in the Mohawk Valley by the evening commute Friday. In terms of snow, you can see here 1 to 3 in the Mohawk Valley, 3 to 7 in the higher elevations north. And so again, that's the general idea with snow today. You can see here, of course, that cold air really working in as we head into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, both alert days, with some colder air working in as well Monday and Tuesday for next week.
Keeping an eye on that weekend for sure. Eric, thanks. Well, you know that feeling when the A's joining us now, and Eric, the pictures that we have received are pretty incredible from last night.
Breathtaking. Unfortunately, I was not able to see this myself,
either, yeah.
But some of you were able to, and all of your submissions were fantastic. This is from our professional photographer, Bill Cardis, who shot this photo from our hill last night. You can see just the views from Smith Hill, the vibrant pillars of colors there. And not only Bill, but also a lot of you, Northern Lights in Oneonta. Look at the beauty of this shot right here. Reminder that when you look at the Northern Lights, the cameras get a very vibrant shot. Your eyes can't quite pick up the sensitivity as much, so they do appear duller in person, but if you look closely enough, you'll be able to see them. But I mean, just my goodness, look at this right here. This great shot in Little Falls taken by Ashley, an amazing scene of Northern Lights that, again, it looks like I missed again. But it's all right. I guess there's more opportunities down the line either way. Wind chills this afternoon, still a bit cold. Not as cold as yesterday, maybe about a few more degrees warmer. Cloudy skies and some light flurries falling from the sky this afternoon. Nothing really to impact travel all too much in the Mohawk Valley, but enough to potentially produce 1 to 3 inches by the end of this by early tomorrow morning. And on top of that, 3 to 7 inches in this area here in the foothills of the Adirondacks and the foothills of Tug Hill. So generally, that's the snowfall today. We're going to dive into that a bit more, time things out when it comes to the arrival of maybe some lake effect snow in the Mohawk Valley and some bitter cold temperatures when that officially arrives. All that and more in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The Utica man is facing charges.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are continuing to track the arrival of light snow across central New York. We look at the Yorkville Battery Live radar. We can see that warm front slowly approaching. Now, the keys with warm fronts is the precipitation usually arrives before the change in temperature does, or at least the notable change in temperature. Cold fronts usually happens as is, because cold fronts are a lot stronger than warm fronts. But nonetheless, we zoom out here, we can see that light snow working its way in, enough to coat some surfaces by the end of today and tonight, as those temperatures slowly climb from the 20s and teens this afternoon up into the low 30s by early Thursday. But this temperature will take place likely before a lot of you wake up tomorrow morning. This is around 3 or 4 a.m. before a cold front rolls through and we cool right back down again with some stronger wind gusts. And it remains pretty cold as we head into the weekend and beyond. Of course, the weekend being the brunt of it. Wind chills 20 to 40 below zero Saturday morning. Definitely extreme cold. In fact, within the last 5 minutes or so, extreme cold watches have been issued. Basically, that is defined by feels-like temperatures or actual temperatures that fall in this category. So we'll share that, of course, coming up later on in the newscast here. Either way, let's dive into the conditions this afternoon. You can see that light snow working through, mainly accumulating north of the Mohawk Valley in the foothills of the Adirondacks. Then here's what I'm talking about here. There's that cold front that rolls through early Thursday morning. You can see right here the round of snow potentially causing some travel impacts in the early morning hours. If you're getting ready to go tomorrow morning, just watch out for sudden areas of reduced visibility. Once that works through, we cool right back down again into the 20s, eventually low 30s if we're lucky by the early afternoon. But that trailing cold front really works through again, and we cool right back down again. We have a series of cold fronts. So this is one of the joys of meteorology, having these multi-system setups here. But you can see that lake effect really sets in stone again in the same trouble spots in the Tug Hill Plateau. Scattered snow showers continue Thursday, and then that snow band north sweeps south in the evening hours Friday, producing potentially some tricky travel along the thruway toward the evening commute. So just a heads up for that. Today's snowfall, 1 to 3 inches in the Mohawk Valley, 3 to 7 in the dark blue areas here, including the Route 8 corridor from Utica to Speculator. And then following that, we have additional snowfall. This is starting tomorrow at 7 through much of the day into early Friday morning at 7 a.m. We can see here a lot of that snow impacting the Tug Hill Plateau. Your 7-day forecast, we have those colder temperatures Saturday and Sunday. Notice the snow icon Sunday. What's making national headlines right now, of course, some ice storm potential in the southeast and maybe some snow in the northeast. We're not going to get the brunt of it, at least for now, but we're going to get a bit of a taste of it in terms of some light snow Sunday and a Monday.
Just the brutal cold for us.
Yeah, so we get the cold side of the system.
At least not the ice.
Yes.
Hey, Eric, thanks. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
The news with Kristen Copeland and Jason Pallas.
Wicked winter weather, but the snow will end tonight. It's the cold that we need to prepare for.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis is tracking the Arctic air to come. Just when you think it can't get colder, it will get
I know,
colder.
even yesterday felt really cold, and it's going to get a lot colder here for the weekend. So we do get a little bit of a break in the cold for the short term, but again, everything is barreling in for the weekend. We saw some widespread snow this afternoon. The roads are slippery. Many places picked up about 2 to 4 fluffy inches of accumulation. We are getting a break from that this evening. There will be another round that rolls in later tonight. But for the most part, the snow over the next couple of days will be primarily north of the Mohawk Valley. The cold weather will impact all of us here, and the worst of this will be Saturday morning. We've got back-to-back alert days for this, with temperatures in the single digits by Saturday afternoon, but that wind chill Saturday morning could be 20 to 40 below zero. Snow accumulation tomorrow night, and Friday looks to be primarily north of the Mohawk Valley, but they could be talking about another 1 to 2 feet of snow for the Tug Hill. They picked up 2 to 4 feet yesterday, so the snow season continues to be epic to the north. Current temperature 21 degrees. We do have that wind out there making it feel like 11. Temperatures will hold steady tonight. We will see some on and off snow showers. Again, watch out for some tricky travel over the next couple of hours. Things get a little bit better for the short term, but again, very, very cold weather ahead. I'm going to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Hoffler Avenue between East.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A round of snow this afternoon. The weather has gotten a lot better traveling-wise. The roads are generally wet, at least the main roads. Side roads are still slippery, so do exercise some caution heading out this evening. The snow has come to an end for the most part. We will see some snow showers primarily north of the Mohawk Valley as we head into tonight. We are experiencing a clipper today. It's a landlocked area of low pressure, and the second part of this will be arriving tonight as a cold front. This will bring a burst of snow into the morning hours that will wind down heading into tomorrow afternoon. Traffic is being impacted by the snow, still mainly north of the Mohawk Valley, but again, things are getting better with the snow slowing down. We saw the northern lights last night. This was the view from Smith Hill. This was around 6:30 in the evening. We had a great shot. A lot of people got a chance to experience this last night. These are not expected to be out tonight, even if they were. It's too cloudy to see them here. But if in the future, we will continue to send out push alerts on our WKTV weather app. If we see them on Smith Hill like we did last night, we'll send out an alert, and it's an easy way to get a heads up if they're happening. Our wind outlook, well, we've got colder weather in our future. Tomorrow, a cold front moves through early in the day. The winds kick up in the afternoon. It's windy Friday, breezy heading into the weekend. Temperatures are warming up compared to yesterday. It's still pretty cold out there, just not as cold as yesterday. West Berlin, 20 degrees. Dolgeville, 16. Westerville, 20. Morris, 25. Cooperstown with 23 degrees. Again, we're tracking a cold front for tonight. This front will arrive between about 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. A burst of snow and a drop in visibility. So if you're out on the roads early tomorrow morning, just be mindful of that. It's over with for the morning drive. Temperatures will be in the upper 20s. Scattered snow showers for tomorrow afternoon. Notice some heavy lake effect snow starts to set up tomorrow evening and tomorrow night along the Tug Hill. This continues into Friday, producing some heavy accumulation. We're expecting another foot or two of accumulation in the Tug Hill between tomorrow afternoon and Friday afternoon. The accumulation continues into Old Forge, about 7 to 12 inches, but again, it does stay entirely north of the Mohawk Valley, at least through Friday afternoon. We're watching Sunday night, and Monday. You're going to hear a lot about this in the national scale. There's a winter storm moving across the country. As far as our local impact goes, it's still several days away, but there has been a noticeable shift in the storm track. It's now looking to be to the north, so this might impact our weather on Sunday night into Monday. If all of this comes together perfectly, this would be somewhere between 8 to 12 inch snowfall. But again, a lot could change, and we are not locking in those words yet. So definitely come back and get more information as we gather more information over the next couple of days, because again, it's really too early to pin things down. Snow showers tonight, 24 degrees. Tomorrow, temperatures in the low 30s. That's going to be the warmest day of the next 7. We've got a frigid stretch of weather ahead. Again, the Saturday morning is going to be the coldest of the stretch, with wind chills between 20 to 40 below zero. So we've got alert days for that. And then we're watching Sunday night into Monday for snow. Temperatures stay cold into early next week, just not as cold as what we experienced over the weekend.
Not locking it in yet.
No.
Bill, thank you.
More snow the rest of the country.
And an even worse Arctic blast coming this weekend. We heard from Bill. Now we're going to see how other parts of the country are dealing with it. Aaron McLaughlin reports.
A brutal winter wallop not letting up.
You definitely need layers when you come outside.
Parts of western New York buried in more than 2 feet of lake effect snow. The roads so treacherous near Buffalo. Some drivers like Joe Chanelli forced to spend Monday night at a rest stop after getting snowed in.
We just watched the snow come down. Everyone was taking it pretty well.
In the Midwest, firefighters battled a major blaze in sub-zero temps. Despite the harsh conditions, they managed to rescue 2 adults and a child. Meanwhile, large chunks of ice blocked a water intake pipe at a treatment plant in Pittsburgh, affecting water pressure in the city. Emergency crews used a barge and a tugboat to clear the Allegheny River. And at Chicago's O'Hare Airport,
We're not able to provide air traffic control services.
control tower workers forced to evacuate after a pipe burst in the bitter cold, leading to a temporary ground stop. Hospitals nationwide also feeling the freeze. In Michigan, health officials say emergency room visits for cold-related illness are up 50% this week.
In this Arctic punch, and seconds count. So you really have to take precautions.
But some enjoying the wintry blast, including snow leopards and bison at the zoo.
At least somebody is. Coming up, the Great New York State Fair. And
Let's get you over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
So we're talking about the cold. Don't forget about your pets, too. You want to keep them inside, especially Saturday morning. We're talking about wind chills 20 to 40 below zero. Air temperatures 10 to 25 below zero. Again, that's the worst of this stretch, but really the whole weekend is going to be frigid, with high temperatures only in the single digits Saturday and Sunday. As we look at the Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, we're tracking some light snow showers. They're now moving to the east, so we're getting a break in what happened earlier today. Big difference between the Mohawk Valley and southern valleys in terms of accumulation. There's been at least a few inches of snow fallen today in areas like Mohawk and Ilion and Utica. But again, going north, or I should say going south, it's been much less. The big story, the cold weather. We get a break tomorrow. Temperatures will be in the low 30s. That'll be the warmest day of the week. The Arctic air arrives Friday, and it's going to be bitterly cold for the weekend. Again, this is the air temperature, single digits Saturday and Sunday. Wind chills are going to be much colder than that. If you're taking the dog out for a walk this evening, temperatures will be in the 20s. Again, it's looking pretty quiet, aside from a few light snow showers. Tonight's featured dog is Echo from East Herkimer. If you want to be part of this, head to Skycast at WKTV on Facebook. This is brought to you by Nissan. Kristen, back to you.
all right, Bill, thank you. The Great New York State Fair is ready.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are continuing to track road conditions across central New York. We saw widespread snow this afternoon, and it came down steady, generally in and north of the Mohawk Valley. So there's some slippery spots to be had along higher elevations. Just keep that in mind. I do expect things to get better over the next couple of hours as the snow has generally come to an end. We will see some snow showers generally north of the Mohawk Valley with our next round of snow tomorrow, or I should say tonight, very early tomorrow morning. This is a cold front approaching from the west, and this will be the beginning of some Arctic air that will roll through. Reminder, you can always get weather information on the go by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. We get a break from the cold weather tomorrow. Temperatures make it into the low 30s. I think we'll stay at or just below freezing for most of the day. The wind chill will still be in the low 20s, but you will notice the difference. This is the exception rather than the rule. We're going to be heading in the other direction with much colder weather on the way. In fact, it is expected to get frigid here, downright frigid, as we head into the weekend. Whitesboro, 23 degrees, Barneveld, 16, Cassville, 22, Fairfield, 16, Old Forge, 14, Ilion, 17, Worcester, 23, Paynes Hollow, 20 degrees, Scott and Edmonston with 23. Today's weather system is called a Clipper. That's very familiar. We've had a lot of these this winter. They don't bring a lot of snow, but they bring enough to cause some issues. And again, the next round of snow will be taking place tonight from the west. This is a cold front. In fact, this cold front could produce a burst of snow. But again, look at the time here. This is 3:30 in the morning, so most of us will be asleep while this rolls through. But if you are out on the roads, keep in mind conditions could change very rapidly. This is gone by 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So for the morning commute, it's generally dry. But again, there will be snow on the roads from what happened earlier. Add enough snow showers on Thursday. Little accumulation is expected, with the exception being the North Country. Some very heavy lake effect snow is expected to fall along the Tug Hill tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and Friday morning, where there could be some very heavy accumulation by the time all is said and done. In fact, we're expecting another 1 to 2 feet of snow for the Tug Hill. Again, the time frame is Thursday night and early Friday. The North Country could see 4 to 8 inches of snow with some localized double digits towards Old Forge. But again, notice this once again stays generally north of the Mohawk Valley. We're watching Sunday night. There's been a lot of buzz on the national scale of this winter storm moving across the country. Earlier this week, it looked like it was going to stay entirely south of our area. Some of the newest data suggests it may end up being north, but the jury is still out here. If this were to take a direct hit here in central New York, it would be your typical coastal storm, probably about an 8 to 12 inch accumulation. But again, it's still uncertain as to where this thing is going, and it very easily could go out to sea, or at least the worst of it pass to our south. So we'll keep you posted. Again, this is going to be for Sunday night into Monday. Snow showers tonight, low of 24. Tomorrow, snow showers, temperatures in the low 30s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It's downright frigid. We've got alert days for the cold. I'm thinking Saturday morning, the air temperature is about 10 to 20 below zero. The wind chill 20 to 40 below zero. We're looking at high temperatures only in the single digits both Saturday and Sunday. We're below zero again Saturday night. Again, we're watching that possibility of a coastal storm Sunday night into Monday. It remains cold, but at least not as cold as the weekend, with temperatures in the teens Monday and Tuesday. We'll be right back.
News with Kristen Copeland and Jason Palace.
The snow hit fast and hard this afternoon, but that's not even the biggest weather headline for the week.
I know, get ready for an Arctic blast. It has Oneida County making moves to keep everyone safe. We'll have that coming up in a little bit. First, Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis tracking it all from the Weather Center.
Yeah, we saw some snow today. The roads are a little bit slippery, especially north of the Mohawk Valley, in the Mohawk Valley too, so just keep that in mind if you're heading out. Some light snow is starting to return to areas north of the Mohawk Valley this evening. Big headline is what happens over the weekend. If you thought yesterday was cold, it is going to be much colder Saturday morning. We're expecting air temperatures to fall 10, 20 below zero. The wind chills 20 to 40 below zero. Some pretty serious cold on the way. We've got this as an alert day, as an alert weekend with highs in the single digits both Saturday and Sunday. We're also watching Sunday night. There's a coastal storm that's starting to show up, and some of the long-range guidance will give you some ideas on that coming up. Heavy snow is in the forecast for the short term for the Tug Hill. Another 1 to 2 feet of snow is expected tomorrow night, and into Friday. And notice that this stays almost entirely north of the Mohawk Valley yet again. 21 degrees, the current temperature. It's frigid out there. Wind chills in the single digits, but again, it's going to get a lot colder heading into the weekend. Some snow showers this evening, more to come. We're tracking those temperatures along with additional snow. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New at 6, firefighters made quick work.
You need to know. Will they need a jacket? An umbrella? What should your kids wear to school tomorrow? Get the bus stop forecast only from Storm Tracker 2. Brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group. The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We continue to track snow that is moving out. We're getting some temporary dry weather this evening. A live look at downtown Utica. The roads are better than they were earlier today. But we do have some snow showers returning to the North Country, and there will be some light snow this evening. In the Mohawk Valley and Southern Valleys, things look relatively quiet for the rest of this evening before tonight. And then we're tracking a cold front. This is going to be the beginning of Arctic air. This will bring a burst of snow overnight, the very early morning hours, about 3 to 4 a.m. And we're looking at windy and cooler conditions as we head into the weekend. We did catch the northern lights last night. This was on Smith Hill around 6:30. It's too cloudy tonight, and also there's no solar activity. But if we do get any additional opportunities, we'll be sending out push alerts. We did that last night when we saw these on Smith Hill. You can always get them on our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. It's windy, and it's going to be cold as we head into the weekend. The winds are going to be sticking around, too. The windiest days look to be tomorrow and Friday. Skywatchers, Whitesboro, 23 degrees. Temperatures in the teens. To the east, Fairfield, 16 degrees. Westford, Dave with 20. We're tracking a clipper moving through the area tonight. Again, it's going to drag a cold front with it, which will produce a burst of snow through the region early tomorrow morning. In fact, we'll time it out around 3:30 in the morning. Here comes the Arctic front. Drop in visibility, burst of snow if you're out at this time. Otherwise, just plan on for some light snow on the ground first thing tomorrow morning. Temperatures will start out in the upper 20s. It's dry Thursday morning. Some light snow showers throughout the afternoon. Heavy snow sets up across the Tug Hill tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, and Friday. And in fact, we're expecting another 1 to 2 feet of accumulation along the Tug Hill. Even the North Country seeing 6 to 12 inches from Boonville to Old Forge. Like yesterday, there's a very sharp cutoff here. This doesn't include the Mohawk Valley. It looks like the Mohawk Valley and Southern Valleys will stay out of the heavy accumulation. Bitterly cold weather for the weekend, specifically Saturday. Wind chills 20 to 40 below zero. And then we're watching Sunday. You're going to hear a lot of chatter about a winter storm moving across the country. At this point, the jury is still out as to how or if this does impact central New York, but it does have the potential of bringing some snow. If it does, it could be heavy. We're thinking maybe 8 to 12 inches if we take a direct hit, which at this point is not certain. We're still 4.5 days away from this, but I wanted to give you at least the idea that this storm is getting closer. The trend has been north. This would be Sunday night and Monday. And of course, as we get closer, we'll provide more additional details as they become available. Snow showers tonight, low of 24. Tomorrow, temperatures in the low 30s. Snow showers, that's the warmest day of the week. It gets frigid beginning Friday. It's windy, it's cold, a high of 18. Saturday looks sunny, but it's frigid. We're looking at wind chills in the morning between 20 to 40 below zero. The air temperature 10 to 20 below zero. We're only in the single digits throughout the weekend, so we've got alert days for the cold. But again, we're also watching the possibility of snow Sunday night into Monday. And it stays cold, just not as cold as the weekend into the teens Monday and Tuesday.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6. Time now for a first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Am I seeing this right? Does that really say 1 to 2 feet? Those folks up in the Tug Hill?
Yeah, they had 4 feet yesterday in spots. Yeah, they're going to get another 1 to 2 feet. This is for tomorrow night, and Friday. It stays north of the Mohawk Valley. So again, kind of feast or famine here in the snow department this week. And to the north, it is going to be another big, heavy accumulation. So if you're traveling north, be very wary of this here tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Our local weather, well, we do get some snow. We did pick up some snow today, especially north of the Mohawk Valley. We are seeing some light snow showers out there this evening. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Temperatures are warming up. We're actually 28, the warmest we've been all day. And we'll get a little bit of a reprieve from the cold weather, but this is all short term. We've got some much colder weather on the way. Burst of snow tonight. This is part of a cold front that will arrive early tomorrow morning. It's windy and it's colder throughout the day. Starts out pretty mild, but temperatures are going to free fall Friday, and we're looking at frigid conditions Saturday and Sunday. We're also tracking the possibility of snow Sunday night with a coastal system. More details on that coming up. Snow showers, temperatures in the 20s tonight. Again, it's some much colder weather on the way. We've got to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Continuing coverage of a story that we first brought you at 6 tonight, the Red Cross.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. Some light snow has returned to central New York. We are tracking it on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. I don't expect much additional snow overnight. For most of us, it will be a coating to maybe an inch or two as an Arctic front moves in from the west. The Arctic front itself is to the west. Look at this. This is a snow squall warning, this purple box you see between Buffalo and Rochester. There's even 5 lightning strikes with this. How about that? Yes, you can get lightning in snow. It's called thunder snow. Jim Cantori made this really famous. But it's the same ingredients. All you need to have is rapidly rising air, even if it's cold, and that is moving in from the west tonight. As we look at the big picture, again, a reminder, you can always get weather information on the go by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. This will also send you snow squall warnings should we get those with the front that moves in tonight. It's windy over the next couple of days. The Arctic front rolls in. Breezy conditions will be sticking around as we head into the start of the weekend. Here comes that cold front. It's the beginning of some much colder air that's going to work in. And that front will be arriving overnight between about 3 to 4 a.m., producing a burst of snow, gusty winds. And then the front moves to the east, temperatures will start to cool off. We'll climb into the low 30s in the middle of the night before it starts to cool off in the morning. A breezy day tomorrow. Lake effect snow is expected to develop along the Tug Hill. We do see a few snow showers from time to time in the afternoon, but that lake effect snow will fall hard and heavy across the Tug Hill tomorrow night, and into Friday. Otherwise, here in the Mohawk Valley, it's pretty quiet. We'll have a few on and off snow showers and cold weather. Friday, temperatures will be in the teens. In terms of snow accumulation, again, heavy accumulation along the Tug Hill, as much as 1 to 2 feet. This is in addition to the 4 feet that some spots got yesterday. So again, the feast continues across the North Country, the famine in the Mohawk Valley, at least for now. We are looking ahead, though, and there are some signs that Sunday night we might see a coastal storm that could impact central New York. It's likely to form, it's just a matter of where it goes. Some of the newest data that we got today suggests that the storm takes more of a northerly track, which would bring heavier snow to central New York. If this were to be a direct hit, which we are not sold at yet, this would be in the order of a foot accumulation. So we'll keep you posted here. There's a lot of potential of getting snow here, but again, the jury is still not in on this one. We'll need a few more days. It's still 4 days away. That is quite a distance in the world of weather forecasting. I know some people don't like hearing that, but it is what it is. Snow showers tonight, low of 24. Tomorrow, snow showers, a windy day, temperatures in the low 30s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Lest we not forget, we've got some very cold weather here for the weekend. 20 to 40 below wind chills Saturday morning. High temperatures only in the single digits Saturday and Sunday. Again, it's going to be frigid. Again, we are tracking the possibility of snow Sunday night into Monday. Temperatures in the teens early next week. We'll be right back.
Time now for a first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. We've got something going on out in western New York. Thunder snow?
So here's our Arctic front. This is the thing that's going to deliver a big blast of cold for the weekend. The leading edge of this, it's almost like in the summertime where you got this big line of thunderstorms rolling in.
Sure.
There's thunder and lightning, and it's snowing. We've got thunder snow. Call Jim Cantori.
Where is he?
Get him on the phone. Get him into western New York. Maybe he shows up here. I mean, it's possible that this could survive the trip and produce a few rumbles of thunder tonight. So odds are pretty low, but it's there, and we're already seeing it in western New York. Many of us are seeing snow now, but again, that snow is going to pick up in intensity overnight. I think this line that I was just showing you rolls through between about 2 to 3 a.m. Tomorrow morning. 29 degrees is the current temperature. Temperatures keep rising. This is all ahead of the cold front, so the weather is warming up even in the middle of the night. It can do that. Temperatures will be in the low 30s overnight. This burst of snow arrives between 2 to 3 a.m. It's windy, and it's much colder in the wake of this. Colder weather begins tomorrow, but we'll really notice this Friday. Frigid conditions over the weekend. And we're also keeping an eye on Sunday night. I know there's a lot of buzz about this storm that moves across the country. We'll take a look at how it could affect our local weather coming up. Snow showers tonight, and that burst of snow overnight. Temperatures in the mid-20s. I've got to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Continuing coverage.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. The weather has improved compared to earlier this afternoon when we saw widespread snow. Roads are generally wet. We are tracking more snow moving in from the west. In fact, what's out there now is relatively light. What's coming in is much heavier. This is a snow squall. We've got snow squall warnings in effect for western New York between Rochester and Syracuse. This is in effect until 11:45. There's even some lightning that's been detected with this line. This is expected to head east and arrives locally between 2 to 3 a.m. If we do get any warnings, whether it's snow squall warnings, winter storm warnings, cold weather warnings, you can get information on the go by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. It turns windy in the wake of tonight's cold front, which is what's going to move through overnight. It's going to stay windy tomorrow and Friday. The winds will become lighter Saturday and Sunday. Again, this cold front moves in from the west. Behind it is where all of this Arctic air comes in, and we're talking about potentially dangerous levels of cold. Wind chills 20 to 40 below zero by Saturday morning. Air temperatures 10 to 20 below zero. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast. Before we get there, we do have some snow chances, and it begins tonight, 2 to 3 a.m. Again, that burst of snow rolling through. The winds pick up. Temperatures will rise before that happens. We'll make it into the low 30s overnight, and then we'll start to fall temperature-wise. We'll go through the 20s throughout the day. Scattered snow showers tomorrow afternoon. I'm not expecting much accumulation. The one exception is to the north. Heavy lake effect snow sets up across the Tug Hill along a westerly wind. That cranks tomorrow night and into Friday, and it stays heavy throughout Friday during the day. Temperatures will be colder Friday. We're going to start out in the teens and stay in the teens throughout the day. Wind chills will continuously get colder and colder as we head into Friday night. 1 to 2 feet of snow accumulation is expected along the Tug Hill, 6 to 12 inches extending into the North Country. This stays entirely north of the Mohawk Valley, just like the last one. These places had 2 to 4 feet yesterday, so it is turning into a big snow accumulation this week for the Tug Hill. And there's more to come. We have the possibility of a coastal storm on Sunday and Sunday night. This has been getting a lot of attention because this storm affects a good portion of the nation. Up until today, it looked like this storm is going to go to our south, but some strong indications are that this is going to lift north. And should that be the case, we could be in some of the heavier snow here. So I want you to check back with us because there's still a lot of conflicting data here. We're still 4 days out. And a lot can change, but at this point, there's some potential that this could be a heavy snow event. By heavy, I mean about a foot of accumulation. It's not going to be historic, at least for our area. Snow showers tonight, 24. Tomorrow, windy, temperatures in the low 30s, snow showers. Frigid air gets here Saturday. We've got an alert day for just the cold weather that we'll be dealing with. Again, wind chills dangerously cold Saturday morning, 20 to 40 below zero. Temperatures only in the single digits Saturday and Sunday. Again, possible snow, heavy snow Sunday night. Temperatures in the teens early next week. We'll be right back.